Okay, we're going to try this again because I don't know what TikTok is doing. They got all these people intervening on my conversation. So I'm going to say this again. I have a problem. I was working with a gentleman on a campaign for Illinois Senator of the 5th District, Frederick Collins. Right now, Lakeisha Collins holds the seat, and none of her constituents know who she is. She hasn't showed herself. She hasn't done nothing. She's went along with whatever somebody put in for rules and laws. She just went along with it. And how she got in the seat, she started in the 7th district. She replaced our attorney. She slid into the 5th district. She replaced somebody named Pat. And then the last term, nobody went up against her. So, right? I come to find out that the Board of Election is not what we think the Board of Elections are. They are the most crooked, manipulative, deceptive institution that was ever put together. And if you want elections to be fair, you need to have an outside board because you know why? They change the rules as they go to fit what they're trying to do. And by any means necessary, if it's a candidate that they feel they cannot pull their strings, they will sabotage. They will set them up for the okie doke. Now, we all know that when you go out and get petitions signed, people's signatures are valid most of the time. Most of the time. But we also know for a fact that when people put their addresses down, that people move all the time. We already know the Board of Elections computer system is not up to date, right? It's not up to date. And so for those who running for office like your LaShawn Ford and whoever else is in the line to run for congressman, all the fellas had made a gentleman agreement because their signatures was bogus, right? So Cam, what is that man name? Cam something, got thrown out because he round tabled his signatures, because he used signatures for 2 years ago. But this was something that you would think that the Board of Election would be adamant about and catch, but it's not the case. See, money talk and bullshit walk. That's how the name of the game is played. And if they don't like you, and they feel like that you're not going to be a good boy or a good girl and play the game, then they do their damnness and they will put as much money up to sabotage and get you kicked off the ballot, right? So we know as of late, Frederick Collins withdrew. And it's sad because the judge say one thing, the people who's viewing the signatures do something else. After hours, you go in the computer and you adjust some things. And I'm going to say this, and I've been a Democrat all my life since I was able to vote. But y'all some shady individuals. Now I see why people say what they say. You say you are for the people, but you sell out really quick on the people. And it's sad. And I can give the Republicans their kudos. And you may say, what? Yes, I'm going to say it. You know why? Because they lie to your face. They steal in your face. They do it in your face. And we know they're lying and we know they're stealing. Prime example, the man who's sitting on Pennsylvania Avenue. He's stealing everybody's money. And some of us, even us, is okay with it, right? And we justify what we see. So I'm saying, why do we have politicians? Why? Because in reality, they're not serving us any purpose whatsoever. They're not helping us at all. And I'm not knocking, people that's come from other countries and they want to find a better way of life. I say kudos to you. But there is a way in which you should come over here. Why should we suffer? Why should we go without so you can have everything that you need? And we've been born into this country and we can't get nothing. Now we got aldermen, we got state representatives, we got governors, we got mayors, we got senators, and we got congressmen. But we are suffering. We can't afford to pay our rent, can't afford to buy groceries, you can't afford to buy medication. But those who came over here without being born here have all the perks and privileges. They driving BMW, Mercedes, able to live in full houses with nice sized bank accounts, cell phones, iPads, and everything else. So something just don't add up. The Democrats say they're in our corner. They understand the needs of the people, but when they need to step up for the people, they sell the people out. And I have a serious problem with that. I no longer trust nothing that the Chicago Board of Elections says or does. Because when I tell you it's pay for play, it is pay for play. You can be the most honest person with good intentions, and they will do everything in their power to keep their yes person in that seat. The sad part that Frederick Collins has been removed from the running and that Lakeisha Collins get to stay is her signatures was round table, and they know it. They know her signature was round table. She faxed her signatures in. She had a bunch of scratch-offs, right? So when you put the effort up and you know it's something, when the Democratic Party attorney comes down to Chicago Board of Election and tells the people that you left too much meat on the bone, it's the beginning of a domino effect. And I got a real problem with that. That is the most crookedest floors I have ever seen. By any means necessary, they would set people up. The same way when he was running for mayor, Tony Prepwinkle was the culprit behind Brandon Johnson being pushed into the seat. And you know what else pisses me off? When you got aldermen who want to put their kids in the seat, and we as constituents don't see what's happening with us. We think these people care. They don't. They're not going to care unless you force their hand. You need to force their hands. Now, all this crookedness, Mike Madigan got caught up. Lisa Madigan, his daughter, lost all her perks and privileges. And we still don't see. We still don't get it. We still don't understand. It's pay for play. It's not politics. It's politics. And the goal is to empty your pockets and fill theirs. They live a better quality of life than you do, and they supposed to be serving you. But they serving you a bunch of BS. That's what they're doing. They want all these yes people. Y'all need to look up how much money that aldermen get to cover their ward. You need to look up how much money senators get to cover their district. You need to look at how much congressmen get to cover their district. This is why LaShawn Ford and who else is running? It's like 19 people running for congressmen. But I know a couple of the guys got together and did gentleman agreement so they won't get kicked off the ballot. But LaShawn Ford has already made an agreement with Danny Davis to keep his team for a year. And Danny Davis in turn will support him in that effort, right? Cam Buckner got kicked off the ballot because he roundtabled his signatures that he had 2 years ago. And I want to know, for me, why do we need to have signatures? If I want to run for an office and I'm capable and qualified to run for an office, then there should be no stipulations in me running for that office. But you know why you got to do the signatures? You know why you got to go through the hell? You know why you go through the board? So they can control, they can pull the strings of who they let through and who they don't let through. This is why we are in the shit show that we're in right now. This is why the man who's on Pennsylvania Avenue is doing the things that he's doing. You know why? He's doing his stuff openly, but some of the Democrats is doing their stuff up on the table. And it's sad. It is so sad that you are supposed to be the voice of the people. You want us to follow the laws and the rules and the regulations, but y'all don't follow them. You fill your pockets and you empty out ours. And it pisses me off just to think about it. And every time I find out something, I'm calling y'all asses out. Every time. And so I'm calling you out again. I don't trust the Board of Elections at all. You're funny and you're shady. And money is the love of money is the root to all evil. And you are some evil bastards. That's what you are. To sabotage somebody. We need new blood. Some of y'all asses been sitting in that seat since Jesus got off the throne. And you need to go. Simple as that. And I hope y'all share this because this is a message that needs to get out. These are things that we don't talk about and they need to be talked about. The shadiness and the crookedness of the Chicago Board of Elections and some of the Democratic Party. I'm not saying all Democrats. But a lot of y'all are shady. That's all I'm saying.